Ironblood Base. Can H-44 please come to the commander's office please, said the loudspeaker. Well, I better go see what he wants then, H-44 said to herself. After she entered the office, the commander said, H-44, I'm glad you're here. I have a mission for you and the First Fleet. There have been sightings of sirens in the North Sea where they seem to be building something. I would like you to see what it is they're doing, and if you think it's too dangerous for us, I want you to destroy whatever it is they're making. Do you have any questions? No, my child. Everything shall be fine. I shall spoil you when I get back, H-44 said. Okay, mother, if you don't have any questions then you're dismissed, the commander said with a blush on his face. At the docks, H-44 is gathered there with the rest of the First Fleet, which was made up of Z-23, Prince Eugen, Admiral Hipper, Graf Zeppelin and Tippett. As everyone is here we should set off now, H-44 said. This better be worth it for my plan, Graf Zeppelin said in a monotone voice. Don't worry my child, if it's a weapon then we could capture it instead of destroying it, as long as you let me spoil you when we get back, H-44 said with a closed-eye smile. Why yes of course, Graf Zeppelin said in a panicked voice. Anyway let's go then, H-44 said. Actually I think Hipper could do with some pampering, Prince Eugen said. Author Hipper said before she was interrupted by her sister. To make her feel better about her breasts and growing, Eugen said with a teasing smirk on her face. Why you, Barker, Hipper screamed in outrage. There's no need to be shy dear, H-44 said as she smothered Hipper in her chest. H-44, I don't think Hipper can breathe, Z-23 said in concern for her comrade who was slowly turning blue from lack of oxygen. Oh okay then, let's get going then, H-44 said as she released Hipper and started to leave the harbor. Everyone else just sweat dropped from her sudden change in character, with a worried expression on their faces from what they imagined they would face when they returned. Hey wait for us, they all shouted after her, as they all scrambled to catch up with her, not wanting to be punished when they got back. Meanwhile at their destination, Observer, is the portal machine ready? Yes my empress. All we'll need to do is flick a switch on it when the target is in range, then they will be taken to another world never to return, Observer Alpha said. Excellent. It was about time we got rid of that tiresome H-44, Arbiter said while laughing evilly. Before they get here I want everyone into positions for the ambush. We cannot afford to mess this up. Yes, my empress, all of the sirens said. Here they come, everyone in position before we're spotted, Arbiter said. The sirens all scattered to get into their positions. With the ship girls. Get ready my dears. We're almost there, H-44 said as began to approach the area. Whatever they're building, they certainly aren't anymore, Admiral Hipper said as they observed the area from a distance. Don't let your guard down everyone. For all we know this could be a trap by the sirens, Z-23 said sternly. Well, then should we go and check to see if it will be a problem for us in the future? H-44 asked the others. Yeah hi, they replied. After 10 minutes of searching, Z-23 came across a strange machine. Wondering what it was, she called out to the others. Guys, I think I've found something. The others all gathered around the device. As H-44 got there she looked up to see this. Imagine it's floating on the ocean. Well done, my child. You found what we were looking for, H-44 said as she bear hugged Z-23. Please stop, she said flatly in response. I wonder what this does, H-44 said as she touched the smooth surface of the metal. Ha ha ha, you fell right into our trap, Ironblood, Arbiter said as the sirens came out of their hiding places and surrounded the outnumbered ships. Sirens, they all shouted in shock, quickly getting into defensive positions. Observer, now, Arbiter shouted to the hidden Observer Alpha who had managed to get the portal machine without the ship girls noticing. Yes, Your Highness, Observer said as she flicked the switch on the portal machine. To the sirens' glee and the ship girls' horror, the machine began to suck H-44 towards it. Ah help, H-44 said in shock as she was dragged further and further in. Her comrades all rushed to help her, but they were too late as she was completely sucked into the machine, which immediately began to destroy itself. Now then, now that nuisance has gone, it's time for us to take our leave. Goodbye, Ironblood. May we meet again, Arbiter said mockingly as all of the sirens vanished into their portals, leaving the distraught ships to mourn for their mother figure. In the Haifuri world 10 years before the beginning of the show, with H-44, H-44 sat on the ocean surface, immobile in her ship form. She was unconscious due to the act of passing through the portal. Her radar had been bleeping, but she didn't notice. A mystery ship was getting closer. With the mystery ship, on board the ship was a crew of women a similar age to H-44 herself. One woman in particular, who was dressed in an admiral's uniform, was panicking slightly as her ship, the IJN Kirishima, approached the massive battleship. This woman was none other than Miyuki Munetani, a member of the Blue Mermaids. It didn't take long for her ship to come to a stop beside the ship. Finding a ladder, she and several volunteers decided to investigate the massive BB. She looked up at the forefront cannons in awe of their massive size. Looking around the ship and not finding a single person was a nerve-wracking experience for the boarding party. Splitting off from the others, Miyuki made her way to the bridge. Upon entering the bridge, she gasped in surprise to see an unconscious woman on the floor. Running to her side, Miyuki kneeled beside the female before shaking her. She continued to gently shake the unconscious girl when she got no response the first time. This time she stopped when the woman showed signs of waking up. When the girl woke up, she looked around herself, seeing the familiar sight of her bridge before she then became defensive upon spotting the other occupant in the room. "Who are you?" "My name is Miyuki Munetani, captain of the IJN Kirishima." "Who are you?" Miyuki said calmly. "I'm the battleship H-44. The very ship you're standing on," H-44 said, making Miyuki even more confused than she was already. "What? But how?" she asked in confusion. After a long explanation, Miyuki then said, "How about I give you a name? As if your name was a ship, it would make people very suspicious." "Okay then, what do you suggest?" H-44 said. How about Amelia Schneider? It's German, so no one should suspect why you are on a German ship." "Yeah, okay, Amelia Schneider it is then," the now named Amelia said. "Excellent. It's nice to meet you, Amelia," Miyuki said, sticking her hand out for a handshake. "It's nice to meet you too, Miyuki," Amelia said while shaking the outstretched hand. "If you'd like, I can give you the rank of Admiral, as it should suit you being a battleship and all that," Miyuki said. "Thank you very much, Miyuki," Amelia said in gratitude. "It's alright. Shall we get going to your new port?" Miyuki asked. "Yes, let's go." Once Amelia said this, Miyuki reached for her radio and said, "All personnel head to the deck of the Kirishima. I have someone to introduce to you all." After getting verbal confirmation from her crew, Miyuki said, "Let's go. I have to introduce you to my crew." "Okay, I'll follow you then," Amelia said. On the deck of the Kirishima, "Ladies, I would like to introduce you to Admiral Amelia Schneider and commander of this ship, the KMS H-44, Miyuki said. "Does anyone have any questions, Admiral? How is it possible? The H-44 was never built," one of the crew members said. Can I tell them?" Miyuki said, turning to Amelia. "Yeah, sure. It should clear things up in case something strange happens," Amelia said thoughtfully. "Alright then, ladies, what I'm about to tell you can never be repeated unless you have my or Amelia's authorization. Do you understand? Failure to do so will result in punishment for the person involved." "Yes, Admiral," the crew members said at once. After a long explanation, the crew were shocked, to say the least, but out of fear of the punishment, they all agreed to keep it a secret. "Now that is settled, let's go back to port," Miyuki said. After saluting the two admirals, all the crew members quickly left to prepare for departure. "Amelia, when we get back I would like to introduce you to my daughters. I think they would like to meet you considering they all want to join the Blue Mermaids with me." Okay, it's been a while since I've pampered someone," Amelia said with a gentle smile on her face. "I have a feeling that since they will probably be seeing you many times, They'll probably see you as their aunt. I would be honored to be their aunt, Emilia said. When they got into port, the people surrounding the area were shocked to see the massive battleship following the Kirishima, as it dwarfed the battleship. They were particularly horrified to see the 20-inch cannons, which were bigger than those on the Yamato, their biggest, most powerfully armed warship. Waiting at the dock was Miyuki's husband with their 3 children. When Emilia and Miyuki disembarked, the 3 girls all rushed to their mother as fast as their legs could carry them. While screaming "Mama," they all launched themselves into their mother's legs, chest and stomach, hugging her for dear life. When they let go her husband, they came up to her and hugged her and gave her a kiss on the lips and said, "Welcome back, my dear. We've all missed you. Well, after this I should be around more often, as this was my last mission at sea," Miyuki said with a light smile on her lips as she hugged them all. Looking over her shoulder, Miyuki's husband spotted Emilia, who was patiently waiting for their reunion to finish, and said, "Miyuki dear, who's your friend over there?" "Oh, that is my new friend and sister figure, Admiral Emilia Schneider. She's the captain of the large battleship that followed us into port. She's also the one that will be taking over from me when I retire from active sea duties," Miyuki said while gesturing for Emilia to come over to them. "Kids, I would like you to meet your new aunt, Emilia," Miyuki said to her children. However, instead of introducing themselves, they all hid behind their mother out of fear of the new figure. Instead, the only male there decided to save his children some embarrassment and show them that there is nothing to fear by introducing himself first. "Hi Emilia, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Miyuki's husband," he said, outstretching his hand for a handshake. "It's nice to meet you too. I'm sure we'll get along fine," Emilia said while shaking his hand with her own, with a kind smile on her face. Getting courage from seeing their father introduce himself and not get any repercussions, the children then introduced themselves. The eldest one said, "Hi auntie, I'm Mashimo and I'm 8. The second eldest one then said, "Hi, I'm Mafuayu and I'm 7. Then the youngest one said, "Hi auntie, I'm Mashiro and I'm 6. "Can I have a hug please?" "Of course child," Emilia said while lifting Mashiro up into a hug, holding her onto her chest, where Mashiro began to fall asleep from the softness of her pillow and all the excitement of the day. There, child. Rest your eyes for a while," Emilia said softly. "Dear," Miyuki said to her husband, "Emilia will